Well, they can't all just be laughers, unfortunately. The Phillies had an opportunity to win this game 3-1 late. Unfortunately, they blew it, but they still ended up winning the game thanks to the DAYCARE Club coming up huge in the 10th inning. You get Alec Bohm with the go-ahead RBI. Then Bryce Stott comes up huge with an RBI insurance run on the sac fly to the center field. It was a thing of beauty for the Philadelphia Phillies in that 10th inning. When they needed guys to step up, they got guys to step up. We got plenty to dissect, including one of the things in baseball that drives me absolutely bonkers, absolutely crazy. And I know it's just the practice of the game now, the way the game is played, the way, more importantly, the game is managed. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. And Rob Thomson still has a lot to prove to me from last year in the playoffs when he went to Craig Kimbrell. Just a little too much and mismanaged his pitching staff in that series when he knew his bats weren't coming around. Oh, my goodness gracious. He got a little too medley tonight for my liking in how he handled Spencer Turnbull, who put in another fantastic performance for the Phils. I know the news is out there. We'll get into it about Taijuan Walker and when he could be back for pitching for the Phillies as well. So we'll break it all down here on this Philadelphia Phillies postcast on the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. And let's not forget that this show today is brought to you by the wonderful people of Prize Picks. Check out all Prize Picks has to offer as we do it right here, right now on Phillies Postcast on the Locked On Network.
You are Locked On Phillies Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Philadelphia on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
I normally don't get the comments right out of the gate. I'm going to get to a comment coming up in just a second. You guys can chime in on the show, obviously. But this is Locked On Phillies Postcast brought to you by Prize Picks, the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnMLB and use all lowercase Locked On MLB. That's Locked On MLB. For your first deposit match up to $100. And once again, thanks for joining us here on Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel for this Locked On Phillies postcast. Big game in Philly. We're talking about it right here on Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. All right. I'm happy. I'm excited that the Phillies won. But Crazy, I'm going to get you in here right out of the gate. Crazy, thanks for joining us. I thought for sure that we were going to blow it, but highlights of the night, Spencer and Marshy, without question. Let's talk about Spencer Turnbull, okay? And let's just concede this point for both sides, similarly to the way we did yesterday when talking about Marquez's strike zone in the Nationals game, talking about the umpire there. A lot of people think they know what a strike is. You know what a strike is? A strike is something in the strike zone. That's obviously a strike. However, it's not as simple as that. It's whatever the umpire calls a strike. That's a strike. You know what I'm saying? For tonight, Vic Carapazzo, I don't understand how the strike zone was this wide, even out of the frame. For the people listening on the podcast later, my hands are well out of the camera shot, dictating, showing you how wide the strike zone was in the first 5 innings of the game. Spencer Turnbull clearly took full advantage of that on a number of situations. He was hitting the slider well outside time and time again, just trying to live life on the outside corners and even on the inside corner. There was a couple of different pitches. Bryce Harper even took one on the inside corner that was off the plate and inside, still called a strike. Alec Bohm took a pitch that was inside, off the plate, still called a strike. Later in the ball game, and one instance in particular that drove me bonkers, we'll get to. But the strike zone was pretty consistent for 4 or 4.5 innings at a time. 5 innings at a time. We'll call it that because we played 10. So you look at it like that. Not great, but Spencer Turnbull knew how to take advantage of it. Bottom line, 6 scoreless innings for Spencer Turnbull. Spencer Turnbull has started out his Philadelphia Phillies career with 11 scoreless innings. The report down on the farm right now is that on Thursday, Taijuan Walker is going to get his first of what should be 4 rehab appearances. And as of right now, the way they're looking at this for him to come back from his shoulder injury is that he's going to go out there and have it increased, according to Scott Lauber of Inquirer.com, beat writer for the Inquirer. He's going to go out there, Taijuan Walker, and he's going to pitch in 15-pitch increments. All right? 15-pitch installments is going to be his outings, essentially, until he comes to the big league ball club. So As far as I'm concerned, and I appreciate Taijuan Walker being one of the league leaders in wins last year, one of the top 3 in wins, okay? I'm good. If Spencer Turnbull's pitching like this, Spencer Turnbull, let it rip, friend. Let it rip. And that brings me to the number one thing I want to talk about here. Why? Why take Spencer Turnbull out of that game? I know that it's conventional wisdom in baseball nowadays to be like, ooh, when do I get the opportunity to go to my bullpen? When do I get to medal in the victory today? And you know what? I don't like it one bit from any big league manager. And I don't need it right now from Rob Thomson, because Rob Thomson is really hanging on by a thread after how he handled the bullpen last year. So I really don't need that this year. If I have a starting pitcher who is only at 82 pitches, I'm not taking him out of that game if he's on cruise control. I don't give a damn. Oh, it's almost the 7th inning. Is it going to go through the rotation? Is it going to go through the lineup again? To hell with that. This, to me, you should never want to use your bullpen. Like that, in my way of looking at it is, if you have a guy out there on the mound who you know is giving you results, why are you going to mess with those results? If he gets into trouble, different story. Different story. If you want to put him out there and be like, all right, one more inning. He's at 82, 83 pitches. I'll have him go out there for one more. Let's see how this goes, and then I'll go to the bullpen. So what does he do? He tinkers. Tinker Topper back at it. Old Tinker Thompson for the Phils. And he decides to bring in Sir Anthony Dominguez home run. That's how it went. I think I'm going to bring it home run. I think I'm going to be done with Spencer Turnbull. Let's go to the bullpen. Home run. That's the way it went with Sir Anthony Dominguez, unfortunately, in tonight's ball game. And then it started to look a little bit scarier. And did it rear its ugly head immediately? Well, it gave you a warning sign that maybe it was the wrong decision when Sir Anthony Dominguez allowed the home run. But then Jose Alvarado has to come in a little earlier than normal. He's a guy that I would like to solidify as this team's closer. And I know in instances you're going to be feeling out certain situations for matchups and all that. But for me, I got a lot of confidence against Jose Alvarado versus the field, basically. Righty or lefty, I got a lot of confidence in Jose Alvarado. So what ends up happening? Well, you go to the bullpen, I think at least one inning earlier than you had to. And instead of having Spencer Turnbull come out in the 7th inning, you get hit right away. And then you have to depend on Sir Anthony Dominguez to get out of the rest of that inning, which he did. Then Alvarado comes in. He's fine. He gives up a walk in that 8th inning. And then Jeff Hoffman comes in for the 9th. Would have much rather have not seen Jeff Hoffman tonight. And this is not revisionist history. I was yelling it at my television, hoping that they would hear me. I was hoping my voice would carry through the arc and right onto the field in St. Louis. Just hoping that would be the case. And then all of a sudden, Tom would be like, "What was that? Oh, I guess okay. Maybe I won't. Maybe I won't go to the bullpen now." But I go to the bullpen. What drove me crazy, and this was actually in that 8th inning with Jose Alvarado. So before we even get to Jeff Hoffman's performance there in the 9th, which was lackluster, to say the least. I hate the idea that you get the blown save, but you get a win. Like, I hate that. But anyway, here's the deal. Vic Carapazza is the home plate umpire. For the majority of the game, he had been calling a very, 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 very wide strike zone. So he gets a 3-2 pitch with Alvarado on the hill. He gets a 3-2 pitch to Donovan. He puts it inside, off the plate, a ball, but it had been called a strike the entire day. Even Ruben Amaro Jr. during the broadcast goes, and he just rung him up. Maybe not. And he just rung him. Nope, he's going to first, okay? So that only puts him on first base, Donovan on first base. Goldschmidt comes up. So now Goldschmidt represents, in this instance here, the game tying or the go-ahead run. Not great. So Goldschmidt comes up, representing the go-ahead run, and somehow the baseball gods smile upon Jose Alvarado, and it doesn't end up coming back to bite the Phillies in the old behind there. And ends up being a fly ball to center field, and he gets out of the inning. But that was an instance where Carapazza all of a sudden just, you know what? I think I'm just going to call this a strike now. And it almost really killed the Phils. Jeff Hoffman then comes out there in the 9th inning Again, you have a one insurance run, fortunately, thanks to our friend Brandon Marsh, part of the daycare. I would say Brandon Marsh at this point is maybe one of the daycare managers, as much as maybe more so than he's a daycare kid. But Brandon Marsh comes up to the plate. Bryson Stott strikes out. Nick Castellanos, not going to believe it. He chased a low pitch out of the strike zone, and he struck out again, okay? Brandon Marsh then stepped up to the plate and works a 7-pitch at bat in which he started 0-2. The count for him, he was down 0-2, and he ended up battling off 6 more pitches, takes 7 pitches in the at-bat total, and he's able to rip a fastball down the right field line for his 3rd homer of the season, 403 feet. Gives the Phillies a 3-1 lead. So you got a little bit more of a cushion. You got a little bit more of insurance. So what happens with Jeff Hoffman when he comes out there? He gets Arenado right out of the gate to strike out, which was great. Slider, foul tip, Stubbs held onto it, squeezed it perfectly. Herrera then's able to work a walk. Burleson gets the double. He got 2nd and 3rd with 1 out. Walker steps up and gets the sac fly RBI. You think for a second, all right, maybe you get out of it. All right, you still got the out, so you got 2 outs. Maybe you get out of it. Win, not so fast. Win gets the RBI single. It's now a tie ball game. Scott ends up grounding out to 3rd. Grounding out to 1st. Hoffman just gets his foot on the first base bag to make sure he records that out. You go into the 10th inning, folks. Pache's at second base. Trey Turner, who had himself a night, no question there, had himself a night, a 3-hit night for Trey Turner. Great to see him do that. 2 of them were infield singles, by the way. You go up there in the 10th inning. Trey Turner steps up to the plate with Pache on second. Turner ends up grounding out to 3rd. Pache can't move. Ball's hit in front of him. He can't move. So Pache stays at second base with 1 out. Bryce Harper steps to the plate. He gets intentionally walked. Oh, my goodness gracious. What happened the last time a team tried doing this? A guy named JT Realmuto stepped to the plate and whammy over the left field wall in D.C. Alec Bohm now gets an opportunity to make this Cardinals team pay for not pitching to Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper takes first, runners on 1st and 2nd. 1 out. Alec Bohm, bada boom, bada boom. First pitch, double into left field. You have Harper going to 3rd. Pache scores. You take a 4-3 lead. Stott steps up with Harper on 3rd at this point. Stott hits a sac fly RBI to center field, to right field. It's 5-3 ball game. Castellanos, what did he do? Oh, and he made another out. He flew out that time. That's amazing how that always happens. Anyway, 5-3. Phillies go into the 10th inning and pretty much butter. Pretty much butter when it comes to Gregory Soto and what he was able to do in that 10th inning to close it out. But absolutely loved what I saw from the Phillies in that 10th inning, especially manufacturing those runs with Alec Bohm coming up big and Bryson Stott getting that sac fly RBI. Great to see that from the Young Bucks. Those are 2 things. So Spencer Turnbull, Rob Thomson, and why the hell he took him out. The DAYCARE Kids coming up huge. And finally, one more member of the DAYCARE Club. Sometimes it's just good to get away. It's just good to get away from the game for a second. Get away from the game for a second. Johan Rojas needed a getaway day mentally. So he got the day off yesterday. Christian Pache had that little fumble of the ball there in center field against the Nationals. And then Johan Rojas, he had the day off, gets back into the lineup today. If I have the numbers correct, Johan Rojas, batted .0. Johan Rojas hit .045 coming into today. Johan Rojas then came up with a 3-hit evening. He's now batting 110 points higher. 109 points higher, 154 on the season. Not too bad. It's amazing what one day off can do. It's amazing what one good day can do. And Johan Rojas made it. Johan Rojas absolutely cooked today. One of the things I loved about it is, and I agree, the assessment during the game was that he was swinging with a little bit more confidence. And, sometimes people laugh at that. Oh, what does that even mean? He's swinging with more confidence. Well, it means that he's swinging like he's expecting to get a hit. Not like, oh, strike 3, I'm out again. No, it's trying to make contact, solid contact, good wood, if you will. And that's exactly what he did in this game tonight. He swung the bat with confidence, like he was mad at something is what he did. So he gets up there with his first at bat in the 3rd inning, smacks a double into left field. I was thinking he was going to stretch it into 3, but he made the smart play. He took the double, okay? Good play by him. Phillies aren't able to do anything after that. Actually, in that bottom of the second inning and the top of the third inning, Nolan Arenado in the bottom of the second inning led off with a double. The Cardinals couldn't do anything with it. The very next half inning there, Johan Rojas to lead off the third. He gets a leadoff double. Phillies couldn't do anything with it. Great. So then later in the ball game, 5th inning rolls around. Brandon Marsh leads things off with a single. Garrett Stubbs gets a single after that to right field. Brandon Marsh goes to third on Garrett Stubbs' single. So now you got first and third with nobody out. Enter Johan Rojas. And what does he do? He rips a single into the outfield. Stubbs is able to go to third on that. Marsh comes home to score. It's a 1-0 ball game. Phillies are on the board. Kyle Schwarber, unfortunately, he strikes out on a sinker low in the zone that he just went over top of. And then Trey Turner comes up, and Trey Turner gets an RBI single to center. Stubbs scores on that. It's 2-0 Phils. Harper ends up grounding out in that inning. Bohm ends up grounding out to short, and that was the end of the threat there in the 5th inning. But Johan Rojas got the Phillies on the board with the second hit of the game on an RBI single. Anything you can get from Johan Rojas, like I was looking at it tonight before the 10th inning. So in the 9th inning, Jeff Hoffman's out there on the hill. And I'm looking at it, and I'm looking at the box score, and I'm saying, what did we say before the season? Right before the season started, what did we say? We said, if Johan Rojas is the one saving this lineup, you got bigger problems, okay? Nick Castellanos could be a problem. Kyle Schwarber could not be hitting bombs. Maybe Bryce Harper's ice cold. Maybe Alec Bohm ain't hitting the baseball. I don't know. But, yes, we said that going into it. And I look at the box score today. Now, yes, Trey Turner had 3 hits. Brandon Marsh had 2, including his 3rd home run of the season. But now you look at, Johan Rojas out hitting Stubbs, out hitting Castellanos, who goes 0 for 5. Did I say 0 for 4? 0 for 5 for Castellanos tonight. Stott goes 0 for 4, but did have the RBI. And Schwarber, 0 for 5 on the evening. And Bryce Harper's got me a little scared. We'll talk about that later. But you had a great performance from Johan Rojas. And as calm, cool, and collected as you could possibly be in center field, running down line drives and fly balls. Had a nice diving catch in the ball game as well, the 5th inning maybe. But he was making things happen for himself, and you love to see every second of that. When we come back, we're going to talk about one thing here. Oh, wait. Hold on. Ari, what's going on, Ari? I agree with you on the bullpen usage. Remember when complete games was a sign of how a pitcher's season was going? Yes, I do. And what a time it was, Ari. Crazy's back. What's up, Crazy? Yeah, I forgot to add Rojas in the highlights. He was great. Needed that. Crazy, you're absolutely right. All right, when we come back, there was one little concern here outside of the rules or the way I like to see the game played that I want to jump into, and we'll jump into it because it's something that I really hope is not rearing its ugly head. I thought this was going to be something on opening day that we'd put in the rearview mirror, but maybe not just yet. We'll tell you about what that is coming up in just a second here on Phillies Locked On Postcast. Hey, how about the people at Prize Picks? America's #1 fantasy sports app with more than 3 million members. It is the easiest and most exciting way to get in on all the action when you watch your favorite sports and your favorite players. You just pick more or you pick less on 2 or more player stats, and then you just watch the winnings roll in, baby. Baseball underway, basketball postseason just around the corner, so don't miss your chance to add your favorite players from the diamond or the hardwood in your Prize Picks entries. Whether it's strikeouts, RBIs, whether it's first inning runs, you take your pick of more or less and add them to your Prize Picks entries today. Get in on the action on the NBA playoffs as well. You can win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks as you and the world's best players take the game to a new level during basketball's postseason. Prize Picks even offers injury insurance on your players so that your entries stay in the play even if one of your players gets injured. For baseball games, if you have a player who registered 2 plate appearances or less, Prize Picks will have your back and not count that as a loss. How about that? What are you going to think of next at Prize Picks? Injury insurance? Amazing. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB, all lowercase, LOCKEDONMLB, for a first deposit match of up to $100. Prize Picks, pick more, pick less. It's that easy with Prize Picks. Did anybody see Bryce Harper mosey down the first baseline tonight? They made it a point of it on the broadcast. I made a mental note of it as well because when I saw the way the ball was hit, and this came down to it wasn't the third inning. No, it was the third inning. Bryce Harper hit a bouncer to second and did not really bust it down the line. And Bryce Harper, in those situations where he feels like he can work it, beat the play, he'll bust it down the first base line. I hate to use this word because I only like to use it for horrible offenders, but lollygagged his way down the first base back. Now, I know better than to think of Bryce Harper as someone who's just going to start lollygagging all of a sudden. So the concern for me, and I haven't seen anything come out, I'm just telling you, maybe later because we do the show right after the game is over, I'd like to know if there's anything that comes out about Bryce Harper's back issue potentially acting up again. Because that is something that I know if you've had a back injury, you don't have to be a professional athlete, any back injury, and it's just something that unfortunately lingers and lingers and lingers and never, ever goes away. So for me, I'm going to be keeping a close eye on Bryce Harper and hoping that he just puts that in the rearview mirror as soon as possible. Now, like I said earlier before we hit the break there, when I look at Bryce Harper and he dives into a camera well on opening day, I'm like, okay. All right. Or excuse me, the day after opening. I'm like, all right, maybe he's not as concerned about the back. Then he missed a game, and then he was back and hit 3 home runs. So I'm going to go ahead and assume that Bryce Harper's going to be just fine and dandy. But you never know because backs are such a fickle thing. And Harper moseying on down the first base line, that scared me. Excuse me, you know what it was? It was after Turner's second infield hit. So it was in the 8th inning is what it was, not the 3rd. So Harper stepped up there, grounded the 4-6-3 double play. And with how deep it was in the hole between first and second, I thought Harper was going to bust it down the line and be able to make that happen, be able to beat it out, not get the double play turned. But unfortunately, that's exactly the way it played out. And then Bohm actually got out of that inning by an incredible play by Paul Goldschmidt at first base to keep his foot on the bag. Still one of the best first basemen in the game, if you ask me, man. Paul Goldschmidt. Think you ask anybody, as a matter of fact. But one thing I want to keep my eye on is Bryce Harper and how he's going to fare going forward when it comes to that back. So we'll see what happens and see if anything gets announced afterwards. One more thing that I have to get into before we take our next break is Brandon Marsh. I would absolutely love at some point, we're seriously talking about Brandon Marsh as an all-star. I think he's already a Gold Glove caliber fielder. I obviously no Gold Glove, but I feel like he's a Gold Glove caliber fielder. I think he could have proven that in center field. I think you have 2 great options. I mean, 3 if you want to include Pache, but really, to me, the guys that are so out in front are obviously Johan Rojas, the number 1, the best option you have in center field. But Brandon Marsh in left field, Brandon Marsh in center field. You have an embarrassment of riches there in your left field spot, in your center field spot. Nick Castellanos got a lot better, and then, as I've talked about many times already, has kind of tailed off as far as the fielding aspect of it goes. But I would love to see Brandon Marsh go from a guy that could barely hit 220 with the Angels before the Phillies traded Logan O'Hoppe over to the Angels and brought in traded over Mickey Moniak and brought in Brandon Marsh. I mean, you think about that trade. Mickey Moniak went for Noah Syndergaard, and Logan O'Hoppe went for Brandon Marsh. And I'm thinking, this is odd. A defensive center fielder. I thought we already kind of had one of those. No, okay, great. And then you see Brandon Marsh put in the work. You hear the stories about him in the cages. You hear the stories about Kevin Long, the Phillies hitting coach, and you just see him continue to produce. Left-handed pitching, you got to see it be a little bit better, how he hits left-handed pitching. But seeing him get out there tonight, playing the field the way he played, just almost stole that home run away. Almost stole that home run away that was surrendered by Sir Anthony Dominguez off Herrera's bat in the 7th inning. Tipped off the top of his mitt, unfortunately, but almost made that play. I would love to see Brandon Marsh flirt with an all-star appearance. I'd love to see Brandon Marsh flirt with winning a Gold Glove. I would love to see him get that opportunity. When you talk about a guy who had difficulty in Anaheim, trying to adjust trying to make adjustments at the plate. The Phillies felt like they could reach him, and it looks like they have certainly reached him. Now, one thing, last year started out hot as well and certainly cooled off. Would love to see him start out hot and then, keep that up for like a whole season. That'd be pretty awesome. But Brandon Marsh, obviously in the field, can get it done for you. At the plate over the last 2 seasons, he has shown that he's gotten done for you. And seeing him get 3 home runs to start out this year so early is awesome. Want to keep on seeing that from Brandon Marsh. All right, coming up, we'll take a look once again at Spencer Turnbull, what he was able to do in his start today, and also look ahead to tomorrow's game where the Phillies will look to win their 2nd consecutive series. I see a couple more comments. We'll get to you guys again coming up in a second. We'll be right back here on the Locked On Sports Network. Are you the friend? Are you the friend in your friend group that's always making the plans? Are you that person? Because I feel for my buddy Dan, who's always making the plans and always buying the tickets, and then everyone's got to, getting the money back and all that stuff. He was going through some trouble with some people that he was getting tickets from, and I told him, Dan, this is a true story. I told him, Dan, Game Time app, friend. He's like, what are you talking about? I go, well, let me tell you about the Game Time app. The Game Time app is where it's at. It makes buying your tickets so much easier. You could view the seats beforehand. You get the guaranteed lowest price. Game Time app is where it's at. Game Time app, it's never been easier to buy tickets to the next big concert, next big game, next big event, next big comedy show that you want to go to. Download the Game Time app to your phone right now, and it's never been easier for you to go to games with tickets on your phone than the Game Time app. With the Game Time app, you can view your seats from that vantage point before you buy. Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets. They also have killer last-minute ticket deals where you can get 60% off buying tickets last minute. What? Yeah. And how about their all-in pricing? This is one of my favorite things. You know how you get surprised at the very end with that wildly inconvenient convenience fee? Yeah, I hate that too. Not at the Game Time app. That's why you got to download the Game Time app to your phone. Let the games begin right there. Plus, you have the lowest guaranteed price. If you find tickets in the same section or row for less money on some other site or something, Game Time app will credit you 110% of the difference. Game Time now has authorized ticket marketplace for Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets even faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down. How about that? Closer to the first pitch. For a limited time, now listen to this. For a limited time, all users can get $20 off any MLB purchase of $150 or more in the Game Time app with promo code FIRSTPITCH. Spell it out. First Pitch. FIRSTPITCH. Terms apply. That's promo code FIRSTPITCH for $20 off until April 14th only. Still got a couple days left. Download the Game Time app today. Last-minute ticket deals, last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed on the Game Time app. All right, let me jump in here before I get to this thing here. Let's see. All right, hello again. Mark, you know me? I do know you are. You're awesome. All right, you know me. You know I am an honest fan. So I'd be saying this even if the Cardinals had won tonight. I hate the extra innings we're going to start with a guy on second base. I'm for it. There's so many things in the last couple of years of baseball, last 2-3 years of baseball that I want to hate as what I like to call myself now, for the people that haven't heard me say this before, I like to call myself a non-practicing baseball traditionalist. Okay? Non-practicing baseball traditionalist. That's what I am. I like this second base rule. I like the extra innings rule. I love the pitch clock. I wanted to hate the pitch clock. Love the pitch clock. Can't get enough pitch clock. Love it. Okay? Non-practicing baseball traditionalist. Purist? Whatever the case may be. Anyway, that's where I'm at. Looking ahead for your Phillies. Now, we mentioned way ahead, Thursday, Taijuan Walker's going to get his first rehab start, so we'll see when he's able to come back and join the big league ball club in some capacity, because nobody is telling Spencer Turnbull, hey, why don't you just stop pitching for a while? I haven't allowed a run yet. Well, we just kind of want to get this other guy. I haven't allowed a run yet. All right, then don't allow it. Fine, you just do your thing. All right, it was a 7:45 start time today, 7:45 start time tomorrow as the Phillies and Cardinals played game 2 of this 3-game series under the arc in St. Louis. Tomorrow we bounce back around to Zach Wheeler. He'll get the start for your Philadelphia Phillies. He'll look to improve to 1-1 on the season. 0-1 and a .75 ERA. Baseball's bonkers. And who do they got going for the Redbirds? They got a guy by the name of Sonny Gray starting. Well, that can't be right. Hold on a minute. I thought he was hurt. That can't be right. I don't believe it. Is he being activated? I don't believe what I'm saying. But anyway, Zach Wheeler, we know, will get the start tomorrow. And we'll cross our fingers that all goes right in the world for the Phillies. And you know what? You know what we're going to do? Oh, wait. No, tomorrow. Oh, come on. No Phillies postgame tomorrow, unfortunately. Phillies and Sixers will be going on around the same time tomorrow. So I'm obligated to cover the Sixers with playoff implications on the line. Oh, here we go. Here's my insight. Ari is a Cardinals fan. Ari, they're rushing Gray back for a start. Eye roll. Good God. Keep it coming, baby. Keep it coming. All right, so that's what they got going on tomorrow. So Wheeler against Gray. Good times. Can't wait for that. But tomorrow night, it'll be 76ers postcast, ladies and gentlemen, with yours truly, after the Sixers are back on the hardwood to continue their push for the postseason and continue their push to get out of the play-in tournament. They got the Pistons, who, if you haven't watched basketball, if you're just a baseball fan, Pistons suck. Pistons are god-awful. Should be an easy win for the Sixers, but we'll be on here breaking it down as per usual right here on the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. You guys are fantastic as per usual. My name is Mark Farzetta. Make sure you guys right now hit subscribe, hit like, hit all that fun stuff. Tell a friend that we're over here as well. Make sure you guys do that. But much appreciated, of course. And I'll be back with you guys tomorrow to break it all down when it comes to the Sixers. Thanks for joining us here on the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel for this Locked On Phillies postcast. Be back with you guys tomorrow with a Sixers postcast. Catch you guys then. See ya. Bye.